Good afternoon. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's in North Alabama. You can also find us on Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, Nets News Network.net. I have Doug McGee with me right now. He's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. Doug and Wanda are just wonderful assets to our community. And, it's all about taking care of the animals and the pets. And you guys do. I mean, it's a lifeline for our pets. And thank you again for everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Well, we absolutely mean it. The heat of the summer is upon us. And even without the heat, if you leave an animal in a car, and it's even in the wintertime, it can be an issue. And if you leave an animal out the car while you run in real quick to go to Walmart or whatever to get something really fast, the temperature in that car goes up massively high. Is that correct?
And quickly. Yeah. I mean, the temperature in the car would be like an oven quick, especially if you leave the windows up and the heat like here in the summertime, and it can kill a dog quick. I mean, it really can. And I know people never intend to go into Walmart, but I've been in Walmart and start to see somebody I hadn't seen in a while. You start talking, or your mind gets going. And if your dog is out there in a car, I mean, it could be a death sentence, and that would be a very difficult way to die, to cook to death, basically. So don't do it. I'm begging people, just don't, because it's just, we're better than that. Nobody should be irresponsible enough to leave a dog or a child or anything. I
was about to say, people leave their kids in the car too. That's insane.
They do, and there's too many things that can go wrong. It's just a really, really bad idea. I was thinking earlier, me and Wanda just came back with Illinois, and we went to Bob Evans' restaurant to eat. There's a Burmese mountain dog in a car or in a pickup truck. And as we got out, she heard it barking and looked around, and that dog was, and of course, it wasn't hot. It was still in the morning. The windows were cracked. But, man, I'm telling you, Wanda is not the person to let that, because I'm the same way, but she's a lot more vocal about it.
I'll find something and I'll knock your windshield out.
That's it. I mean, I'm not – whatever you got to do. I believe if I went into a parking lot and saw a dog in a car with the windows up, 100 degrees outside, I'm not sure I wouldn't knock a window out. Difference of me and Wanda is Wanda would knock all your windows out. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I get it. I totally understand. If you do run across that, say this afternoon, it's 90 degrees, you go somewhere, well, I keep using Walmart, but it could be anywhere, and you see a dog locked up in the car, it is illegal. So if it's a responsible thing to do, I think I would call the police department, and I would stay there with the car until the police got there. And the owner may come out. And of course, everybody's different, and I'm a little more apt to deal with them than some people don't want to, they don't want to be bothered with it. But I would call the police department.
Yeah.
You might, another step is go inside and ask the manager, say, hey, could you have whoever's driving whatever car with this license to come out to let the owner, and try to be
that might shame them just a little bit.
Exactly, and of course, on that same token, hey, everybody's got access to cameras and all, videotape it. I have no problem shaming a moron that does something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's too stupid for somebody alive in 2023. It's just not smart. Don't do that. Do not leave a car or a dog or animal or a child locked in a car. It just don't do it. I mean, people, all of us got a little bit of brains. It don't take a lot of brains to realize that's just dumb, and don't do it.
Now, you were with the police department before you did this. So if you've seen people who would leave the car running, is that a good idea?
I think it's a horrible idea, and if you want to keep your car, I mean, if I'm a car thief and the windows cracked that much and the car's running, I mean, to me, that's a good way. If you don't like your car, but then don't you like your dog? Because your dog's probably going with the car. I mean, I wouldn't do that for anything, to leave a car.
But even if you did that, couldn't that also cause harm? Couldn't the dog get or your child get carbon monoxide poisoning?
Um, if it's outside, they'd probably be okay. But what happens if the car stalls? What
Yeah,
happens? Anything can go wrong with a movie with an engine running.
right.
What if the car caught on fire or anything? So no, just don't do it. My
Mhm.
recommendation for people with animals: if you're just going to the store for a few minutes, leave your dog at home if at all possible. I mean, that dog doesn't need to run to you when you run down to the beer store, which is
Mhm.
half a mile away. I mean, so try to do that. Try to schedule around taking you with your dog with you. If it's a service dog or something that you have to take, then get it a vest or something so you can probably take it in. Most places nowadays, you can take a dog in with you, and that's great. If you want to walk into Walmart and they'll let you come in with your little service dog, hey, that's win for everybody.
Mhm.
But do not leave it in a hot car. That's just foolish. It's just not a
Mhm.
smart move at all. And anybody should know better. If they've got an IQ above 2, they should know better than leave a dog in a hot car.
Well, and let's also talk about courtesy, just plain old common courtesy for the other shoppers in there. If your dog is territorial like Buddy is, I wouldn't think of walking him in Walmart. He'd be barking at everybody.
Oh, I
But
know.
at least have him on a leash or something.
Yeah. Once again, you got to figure the normal person should know this.
Mhm.
Um, we had a dog here. I can't remember his name now. That we were kind of concerned about as aggressive. The people left here and went straight to PetSmart, and he was great. But they had him
Mhm.
on a harness and
Yeah.
secured and everything, and they had control of him, and it worked out beautifully. So people take their dogs everywhere.
Mhm.
In other parts of the country, even more so than here. But
Mhm.
if you do it, just use that little bit of sense that we're all given to function right. Right.
Mhm.
Try not to be just. Try not to have people saying, "Well, that person sure is stupid,"
Mhm.
but doing something that just try to be that. Don't be that stupid person that does things like that.
That's
So,
true. Let's talk for a few minutes about the person who would love to have a pet. Maybe they're divorced, or maybe they're by themselves, their spouse passed away, or something like that, and they really don't have the companionship. But they live in an apartment where they can't have pets. Couldn't they just come out to Second Chance Animal Shelter and just spend some time with animals, walk a
they
dog?
can, and it's just win-win for everybody. If say you really like dogs and you live, like I said, in an apartment or government housing or something, and you cannot have one, come out here. And if you just want a little one-on-one time with an animal, we've got a little area called the garden. Oh, we've
Mhm.
got other areas, and you can just sit there and you can pet that dog, or play fetch with it for a few minutes, or take it for a walk. The dog benefits, and yeah, and even though the dog's going to have to go back to a kennel, it's kind of like a break.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad about that. But if you want, just we're here. We're set up for stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to
Mhm.
just come interact with an animal for a few minutes, just because you come volunteer here does not mean you have to be getting out cleaning kennels and all that. We need interaction with dogs too. So volunteering could be as simple as coming out and taking some puppies and playing with them, and that still it helps the dog. It's a good move for the dogs and for you.
Absolutely, it is. It's just good for everybody. It's good for everybody. Let's talk a little bit about teaching kids responsibility. Brad was by himself growing up. He's the only child. And so I wanted him to have rules of responsibility, and he did. So we let him have pets. So he would have a dog. He's always had at least a dog or a cat, always his entire life. And so, how important is that? If, let's say, the parents want to bring their kids out to Second Chance Animal Shelter, don't drop your kids off, by the way. You need to hang out there with them. But wouldn't that be a good sense of responsibility you're teaching your child?
It would, I think, to me, if I perfect world, my little dream world I like to live in. If I had a kid who was showing interest in getting a pet, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, we're going to volunteer at the animal shelter for 30 hours, 20 hours, whatever. You set the time limit, you're the adult, and we'll see how it goes. And bring them out
Mm-hmm.
here. And if they do well and seem to enjoy what they're doing, and you could then, in time 40 hours or whatever our time limit is up, you could really judge whether you think they could handle it. If they walk in the kennel and they're just scared, terrified, then you might want to reconsider. But if they keep coming and you see that, hey, all of a sudden they're getting where they're interacting with the animals, I think volunteering at an animal shelter would be one of the first steps towards seeing if your child can handle the responsibility of a dog. Because you think about it, I mean, dog poop is gross. And if a kid can come out here and go in a kennel and happen to see and deal with that, then at the house, if the dog has an accident at the house, the kid won't be all spastic and, I don't want to mess with it. When we grew up, our rule in our household when we grew up is if anybody saw an accident in the house, the person that saw it, it was their responsibility. And many a time, there were a lot of blind people in our house.
Apparently, I was going to say.
Many a time you'd be going down there, oh, no, I didn't see that.
I didn't say that.
My mother still talks about one time one of our cats got sick and had a bad accident on the floor. She was just a sick cat. And nobody noticed it, everybody kind of, anyways. But then Mom, of course, being responsible, Mom went to clean it. Well, she started gagging. It was so bad, my mother, and she had a stomach of steel. And I remember I'll clean it up. So I cleaned it up. And my mom still talks about how much that meant to her, because it's just one of those horrible experiences. And her stomach couldn't handle it. And I cleaned it up. And Mom still, that was 30 years ago or 40 years ago. It might have been 50 years ago. But anyway, so.
So if you're in trouble with your mom, that would be a good way to get on her good graces, right?
That's right. But keep in mind, and a lot of people, the idea of an animal using the bathroom in the house is absolutely terrifying to them. We get a lot of dogs brought here because they didn't think that the dog, it wasn't housebroke. If you are a germaphobe or something down that line, you just absolutely can't handle that. Getting a dog is probably not I think it'd be great for you if you could get past the whatever that is. But I'm telling you that's going to happen. An animal in your house is going to have an accident. They may get sick and have an accident. It might be vomit instead of the other. So
it's reality. It's reality, people. Things happen.
Now, I've been to houses before where people don't, like, their reality is a lot more worse than I would accept. Some people don't ever notice any of it, never clean it up. That's not acceptable either. But it's going to happen, and you just have to deal with it. If you can't deal with it, don't get an animal.
That's true. That's true. Well, we've got to go into a commercial break. Can you believe half the show's already over? Let's go into break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a My Pillow or not, you need to get the brand new My Pillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. Okay, we're back from the commercial. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of The Edge on IAC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. That's local in North Alabama, and that's in Doug's neck of the world right there. You can also find us on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast now, netnewsnetwork.net. Doug McGee is with me right now, and he's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. Let's talk about volunteering. I have volunteered, and I love it. Whatever you like to do, even if you just don't like animals, but you have something else you like to do, gardening, whatever, you can go out there and help, right, Doug?
That's it. I mean, taking care of animals is a huge part of what we do, but there's so many other areas. Case in point, we every month we go to Wisconsin. Now, most of the time we go to Illinois and swap vans, and the dogs go north and supplies come south. Driving. If you like to drive, normally we would need a driver and then somebody who could handle the dogs. 2 people go, but see, that's a way to volunteer. If you like to drive and can handle a midnight run to Illinois or a midnight run to Wisconsin, get to know. We wouldn't let somebody drive who we don't know. So you need to come out here and get to know us, but we would need volunteer drivers. We're actually working on, it may not happen, but a network to go take dogs to places like Iowa and Nebraska, places like that. We need drivers. And, so if you like to drive and you don't mind traveling with one of our people or somebody who can help take care of the dogs, hey, just one of the many, many things that we need done. People who paint, maintenance work. Hey, if you got the skills, maintenance skills, I have zero. That just wasn't my lot in life. I can fix some things, but normally I have to call the guy to fix it after I fix it. Mm-hmm. So, maintenance kind of things, or landscaping, or mowing, or taking care of the dogs is huge. It's a huge thing. Help them with vaccinations and all we need brains too. We need people who help us design the shelter and work on things to kind of make the shelter fundraisers, people who can handle fundraisers. It's not all about taking care of dogs. It is.
You guys have a fundraiser coming up, don't you?
We do. Right now we're in the middle of Wolfstock, which was WQSB radio station put it on this third year they've done it. And the goal, last year we set the record for the most food collected in Alabama. 32,000 pounds of dog food came in during the month of June. And we got a slow start, but we're definitely in that right now. And you can bring food here or take it to their radio station. And you get a Wolfstock T-shirt. And the goal, again, is to raise 30,000 pounds of food is a lot of food. It lasts us 3 months. We go through about 250 to 300 pounds a day. So we need a lot of food.
Yeah.
And this is our effort to kind of pull in food in the summertime. It lasts us for a while. So,
is there a particular kind of food you can't take?
Oh, well, our brand of choice is Purina because it's kind of a good grade of food that we don't have problems with. Any gift is appreciated, but if you buy the discount store brand, their store brand, it could cause problems. We really try to avoid those because bad food makes for bad digestion, which means bad poop. Poop's never fun, even in the best conditions. But if it's runny and all that, it really isn't fun. So we try to feed them the same kind of upper mid-level grade of food always. So Purina, if we use Purina Puppy Chow normally, or Purina brand food is kind of our fallback food that we buy. But we need it. We got to buy food. And I know dog food is about 75 cents a pound now. It's what you can expect to pay. So you need dog food, certainly, every day.
Now, do you need dry and canned food?
We do, primarily dry. Canned food, we don't go through a lot of it, but when we have sick dogs, we use it for sick dogs because sometimes that's all they'll eat. Their interest in dry food just isn't there. So we use it. Normally we buy Pedigree or whatever branded dog food, canned food. We don't need a lot, but it is expensive, and so when we need it, we really need it.
I can see a big company just banding together with all of their employees doing something like this.
Yeah, we
have a drive within the organization.
There are a lot of networks like that. They're hard to connect with. We've actually contacted this one and that one, and there's just a lot of red tape to get to them. And every shelter would like that. Every shelter out there would love that, to have a dog food supplier deliver straight to them, but it doesn't work that well. We actually have a network. We go to Rossville, Georgia, normally pretty much once a month, and we get bags that have been busted, like at warehouses. They take them back up, and then they ship them to this place, and it's called a food distribution center. And we go up there pretty regularly. It's discounted, but it does. Used to it was free, but people got involved in money, So we at least we get a discount on it, and it's a mixture of food, but it's always good brands of food.
Can people donate money or gift cards?
You sure can. Our best way on money, we have a PayPal. If you go to our Facebook page, Second Chance Shelter, you can make a donation to PayPal. You can call our phone number at 256-561-2411, and Teresa or one of the workers we can accept credit card donations over the phone. Mail money to us, and on the Wolfstock thing, if you do, it's a $30 donation. You can still get your Wolfstock T-shirts. So if you do make that, make sure you highlight this for Wolfstock, and we'll make sure you get your limited edition T-shirts that they made for us this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and again, QSB, people can actually take the food there.
You can take
which is on Highway 431 in Albertville, real easy to find before you get to Shepherd's Cove Thrift Shop out that way. Or they can just take it straight to you guys at the shelter. Right.
If you take it straight to the radio station, you can pick up your T-shirt there. If you bring it here, we'll have to give you a certificate, and you'll still have to go to QSB to get your T-shirt. So you can cut out that. And we went up to QSB 2 or 3 times now to pick it up and bring the food. The food that was donated 2 weeks when this started it's already dog mess out in the kennels. It's already come and gone. It's already served its purpose, and now its purpose is fertilizer. So, the food we definitely go through. We go through around 250 pounds every day, 5 or 6 50-pound bags. So we need it. We definitely need dog food, and it's expensive if we have to buy it. If you donate it, that allows us to use our funds for other things to help move us forward.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, I encourage you to go to the Facebook page. You'll find it's updated all the time. I'm always seeing where you guys put stuff up there. But then you also get to see some success stories with people who have adopted their pets. They have a new animal. They have a new family member at home. So I saw this one right here. Shyla, is that the name? Shyla was adopted from the shelter in 2022, but she won the 2023 first runner-up in the Arab Polk Salad Festival, top dog competition. And they're really, really proud of Shyla. I don't know if you can see this or not.
See, and that's, there's certain things that drive us. Money is definitely not what drives us, but there's been maybe, I don't know how many times, like Shyla. I mean, that was a throwaway dog. She didn't come to the shelter because somebody wanted her. Mm-hmm. But she got here. We kept her alive, and she got a home. Those people really loved her, took her to this festival, and she gets, and the prize probably doesn't mean anything to her. I doubt if Shyla's going around to other dogs going, "Hey, look, I don't think she cares." But it means, to me, it shows happiness. And one of my favorite stories ever was one night, and it was cold. I can't remember, December or January. We got a call at home around 9:00 of a dog that had been ran over in Albertville. And we went out, and the lady had called the police. The police get there, and there's really, there wasn't anything they really did. But and this dog's laying down in the ditch. He'd been ran over. And Wanda went down. I couldn't get down in the ditch because it was just, but she got down in the ditch and almost got bit. The dog was hurting. Called the veterinarian. He come out like at 10:30 at night, got her. And at the time, we named her, we didn't know her name, but she was on Blanche Drive in Highway 205. And we named her Blanche. Pit bull, mangy. The vet came in. He said, "Well, I'll do what I can, make her comfortable, but she probably won't survive the night." And so he put her in a crate, gave her, sedated her or whatever. Well, she made it through the night and made it through the next day. Next thing you know, she's healing. She comes to shelter, lived in the office for months because she was just healing. I mean, she broke bones, but she made it. Wisconsin, our fosters in Wisconsin decided that she needed to go up there. She went to Wisconsin, got adopted, and now in the perfect life. Now she's healthy. Her legs are, and the people that adopted her went to a Habitat for Humanity fundraiser, and Miss Wisconsin was there, the lady that represented Miss Wisconsin in the contest. And she's holding Blanche and her picture. And that's the best picture because I'm just thinking that dog went from laying in that ditch near death, nobody cared, mangy, had already been neglected, and not to mention ran over, to being held by this beautiful Miss Wisconsin up in and we get pictures all the time of Blanche running and playing, and they got another dog from the shelter, so both of them now are just, it works.
That's a beautiful story. I love that. Well, you heard the dog go off. That means that we're finished with the show today. Doug, again, thank you so much for being on with us today.
I love it, and y'all keep adopting, keep supporting Second Chance, and hey, we're here to help.
Absolutely. And thank you for watching The Edge on IC Radio. Let's go ahead and get ready for our next guest. We'll see you shortly.